Today, I'm going to talk about outside zone and how we work skill on some of the late stages of the block that tend to be a little bit more finesseful, not so much contact. But I want to start with saying that outside zone is not a finesse play. A lot of times it gets that rap of being finesse because we're going so wide on that angle, but it starts with impact. It starts with us driving the defender through that angle. It's a wider angle, but you're still driving through that angle, and it starts with impact and closing space. When we go too flat and we're trying to seal block or focus so much on the outside leverage without contact, a lot of times we miss and we have to work really hard to recover. But when we go through that defender on the angle, and you see the angle matches the running back's angle, when we go through that defender square on that angle, not to the line of scrimmage, and we move that defender, there's nothing finesse about it. It's impact. Obviously, this kind of finish is ideal. You after impact, you drive them on the angle, you put them in the dirt. Great. That doesn't mean a different kind of finish is bad, where it ends up being a little more finesseful. Because oftentimes, outside zone after impact becomes a moving battle for leverage. So your feet are working to regain position, your hands are fighting to maintain connection, your hips are trying to stay on the right side of leverage, and you can still get them on the ground. But if you're just running with them after that impact when they're reading the running back, you're going to lose control. And if you're just hand fighting, you're going to lose position. So the best offensive linemen are going to do both. So how do we train that? We do that with outside leverage games. And from a physical prep standpoint, beyond skill, I love this because it's adding velocities in and some rotations and change of direction and forces at different angles to really prep that body, those calves and hamstrings for games, for training camp and all that, where we see the soft tissue injuries. But from a skill standpoint, I love this because the offensive lineman is exploring ways to maintain connection and leverage. So the objective of this game is for the offensive player to maintain connection, maintain outside leverage throughout the rep, which is a distance of about 10 to 15 yards, and not get dented into the backfield. So ideally, he wants to end with the defender on the other side of the line of scrimmage, or with his body on the other side of the line of scrimmage. The defender's objective is to break that connection either through hand fighting or simply driving that offensive player to the other side of the line of scrimmage and end with outside leverage. And as we progress, the defender has another option and another win condition where he could just simply fall off the block whenever he wants and end up in the backfield. That's further keeping the offensive player honest, where he is fighting to maintain that connection and not just running blindly. So if they do fall off, that offensive player has to put the brakes on to win the rep.